There's the tender hatch on. I love how tall that one is. Alright, look at that. It's looking really nice. There's the hatch. Leans up against there. Just a tiny little bit of an angle, just so it can lean. And there's that part back on. I much prefer it on the direction I have it now. And then I'm going to put high walls here made of wood, and it'll probably back onto here as well, and so I can really put a high load on there. Now I'm going to put a couple Tamalco water valves on. There they are. Man, those look good. They're tiny, but they do look good. Okie dokie. I'm going to put on some tender steps, and I'm going to use a combination of a few here. I got some K-Series 1927 precision scale. Those will go near the front of the cab, near the cab. Then these two little guys are going to go on the back. This is some HO stuff. I like the look of them. It's 2820, and then this is the original back. And I'm going to put. I'm going to take these off. They're just a couple pieces of cheap brass, but it's better than nothing. I like having steps at the back, so I'll take off all this and just use the little metal pieces. I can really make some on my own, but why not use this? Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to use some angle iron for the tender steps, and I'll just use some flat brass, and I'll make my own. Then I can put some rivets on it. It is a little bit bigger, and I think it'll look a lot better. There we go. Those went really quick, just a couple minutes. I just took a piece of flat brass, put a little hook on it, and that goes underneath the board, and then I put some rivets, two rivets on there. Zap, zap, zap. There's the steps installed. I think those are great. And let's see if I can zoom in. You can see I put a little bit of rivet details. One here, and of course there'd be one down here, but they can't see it because I'm too lazy to put it on. And then got a couple of rivets on each one at the top. Those look nice. I'm gonna polish them up a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna put a couple of these, I guess they're saddle style. These are only HO, but they're perfect size. I'm gonna put them on the back. I'm probably gonna have to remove this wire and just move it somewhere else a little bit. Thankfully it's disconnected here. And on the back there also, so I'll zap those guys on, or maybe I'll put them underneath. So I shaved these steps down on the back, kind of cut a large notch here so that they go closer on the sill and they don't stick out on the tender sides so much. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So now they're on the sides here like this, but they won't stick out this way so far. So there you can see the notch in there, and they're a little more flush. I'm gonna zap those on now. Alright, there's the steps on. I like that. I like all the holes in there. There we go. Look how good that looks. I like those steps on there. It's looking good. So I think I gotta do plumbing now. So I disconnected this wire from the tank and I bent that out there so I could get this in. So I'm gonna have to reroute this over and down and then out, and do the other side, and then do the big tank, and so on and so forth. Alright, I'm gonna put some Rerailers on, Frogs Rerailers, and gonna put on some hooks here by precision scale. Alright, there we go. Got those hangers in there and got the Rerailer on. I put one on either side. It turned out well. Now what's next? Alright, now I'm going to try and zap this tender toolbox on without melting it, making it fall apart, because it is together. Now there's a tab there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to cut that tab off. I think you're supposed to solder it into the tender, but I'll just solder on top of that tank and I think it'll be strong enough. Yeah, I'm going to clip those off. Alright, there's the tender box on. Looks good. It was not easy getting that on there though, because I wanted it to mount flush against the walls back there, and it also had to mount here, and it was very tight getting it in there. Yeah, I just really had to press it in while soldering it on with the big soldering American Beauty. There it is. Alright, I'm going to put a tender backup light on. So this is a BLW, I think, BNW light stand, and I bent it all up so it lays flat now, and I clipped off the back a little bit to straighten it up, and it had two little notches that I clipped off as well. And then I have this precision scale HO, I believe it's an HO light. So I deliberately didn't want to match the light on the front because I wanted this to be like an addition. So the engine has a different light, has a bigger light, and this is a little backup light. So this is going to go on there. Got the rivets on there, and it's just going to float on there, and I can still open the hatch. So I'm going to zap it on. Wow, really liking how this is turning out. It's hanging off the back there. It's got a lot of equipment going on now. It hangs out quite a ways out. I think I like that like that. So I realized I just created myself a problem. I can't take the tender apart. So I'm going to unsolder these so I can pull them out very carefully on either side whenever I need to take the tender shell off, and I will slide it forward and out. Also, it's attached, see it wiggles a bit, but it's attached here to the box. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So I think my only option is to unattach it on the back, leave it soldered along here on this edge, and nothing's really going to get at it to take it off, but I need to undo that as well. And so I'm going to start these, and then I'll start pulling this out and unsolder it as I pull it out, and hopefully the whole thing doesn't fall apart. Whoa, I'm super lucky. I managed to get this apart. It was really easy. I just reheated these and pulled them out carefully, and then I pressed pressure down, and I was able to go zap, zap, and slide this off. Came out really easily. I was kind of nervous about that. So why I took this apart is that I'm going to put handrails on here, and I made them up already. Just little guys bent out, and I'm going to put them in and solder them in from the other side. There they are. Grab irons are on. They look really nice. Alright, I'm going to add a couple globe valves. These are Cal scale globe valves. They're super nice. They got lots of detail, and they're hollow here, so you can see lots of detail. Very, very tiny. Really nice. Probably the nicest ones I've seen. And then I made some nozzles, so I'm going to solder these guys in. Alright, there's the water valve on that side. And I'll put one on this side on the corner. So I like the look of those. Look really nice. Alright, now I'm going to put a couple of lanterns on the back. This might be a bit difficult. I don't know how I'm going to do it because these brackets don't stick out very far, and the tender has a bit of a sill on the back. So I might just need to fill it so that these hang out further, because I'm going to put them on the top here. Alright, there's the lights on. It's more or less just the brackets for now. And I'm going to make these so that I can remove them. They'll just be lightly glued on, so that if I have a problem with a bulb going out, I will just take these off and change the bulb. So they'll just get glued on rather than soldered on. But I got both brackets on. They look good. Now I'm going to put one of these air hoses on. Alright, I'm going to put some walls up here. I guess I just need the two walls going on the sides. And they're just gonna have probably two stanchions that I'll put some rivets on, and then I'll just put two wood slats, or it'll be a whole bunch of slats stacked. And the back doesn't matter, and the front doesn't matter, and probably gonna go with a wood load but we're far ways from that. There they are, and I punched a bunch of rivets in them, bolts, whatever you want to call it, and so I'll solder those on, and the wood will get glued on later after it's painted. Well, there we go. There's all the stanchions in, and that wood will get stained and glued in once it's painted. But I think that's going to look really awesome when it's finished, nice and tall. I'm going to put lots of wood in there, or coal, not sure. Alright, so I took one of these old style Lincoln pin couplers and in the larger box here I squashed it out and managed to get it into a standard KD coupler pocket, and then there's that little tiny line that goes through there. I hung a spring on it so it's halfway into the little box and a little bit into the big box, and it adds a little bit of tension, and then I installed it by drilling a hole. There it is. So that makes some tension so it moves back and forth, but it doesn't flop. So just that little bit of tension. Then I managed to drill a hole in it, and with that set to remelt the holes, I tapped a hole in to accept the screw and put a regular standard KD coupler box in there. And that's it, done. I think, oops, my coupler fell out. The little link. So I think that is it. I think this is officially finished. The walls, I've already, I've got them curing, and including the, it's in the silver stain. Where did I put that? Right here. This stuff is the best. I've made some solutions, I've done a few things, but this stuff just comes out looking perfectly silver, like old weathered wood. Silver wood. And it's made by builders. This stuff is super awesome. I like it. It's the closest thing I've ever had to that kind of gray look, but without, you know, other color. I did the vinegar wash and it made it, it's good for red, adding a little bit of red, but this is straight up gray. So these will be my walls. I'm going to glue them together and I'll slide them in. And then this will get all cut out and put in the cab once it gets painted. Those are all ready to go. I'll just glue them together. So the only thing left is painting it. I'll paint the engine, weather it, add in those few pieces, and then add a bunch of other equipment on, old logging equipment, so barrels and anything else I can fit on this thing, ropes, chains, all that kind of good stuff, a bunch of dirty old equipment. Wow, I'm very, very excited to be done this. This has been a very long project, and like I said, it was just an idea to see if I could convert an HO engine into this, and since it works so well, I just kept going and going crazy.